Hello, Uggies Worldwide. I'm Dave Casler, amateur radio call sign KE0OG. Here with an Ask Dave question. We'll see what we can do with it here. This is from Terrence Ryan, and he is N3FIH. Okay. He says, "Hi Dave, I'm out of ideas and thought this might be an interesting topic for you. I have an end-fed half-wave un that I use for POTA activations. It's cut for 20 meters and works brilliantly on 20 and 10. On 20, I work stations until my voice runs out, and I have a ton of DX on 10. I use the tuner built into the FT710 I use and never have a problem tuning it on either band. It does so well, I tried replicating it for use at home." And he says he purchased another 49-to-1 balun, cut another wire to the same length as my POTA antenna, slightly more robust wire, 14 gauge versus 20 gauge, and I get totally different results. I can tune it almost 1-to-1 on 20 meters, but 10 meters is unusably high. I've tried varying lengths and I always get the same disappointing results. I opened each unun and see the same size toroid, FT240, but I don't know if the materials are the same. If you bought it to use it as a 49-to-1 balun, it's very likely they are. They have the same number of turns, are both magnet wire. Here are the sweeps for the good unun and the new unun. Do you have any thoughts on what the difference could be? What I'm holding in my hand here is a QRPGuys no-tune end-fed end half-wave antenna. However, it will not do multiple bands at a time. And that's because the unun, you can see it right there, the coil, okay, is 64-to-1 rather than 49-to-1. And this wire right here is a 40-meter wire. It tells you how long the wire should be in order to work properly. And it basically tells you it's not going to work on all bands at once. You've got to tune it for the one that you need for the work that you do. So this would be a QRP antenna. I found this a little unusual because it seems to me if they could do one for 64-to-1, why not do a 49-to-1 and get them all? Now, I want you to note down here inside, there's a little tiny capacitor down in there. And your balance system should have that capacitor, okay? And if it doesn't, you can look at the schematics for just about anything. Now let's look at these charts on the screen. The first one is for his good unun. You can see a huge difference between these two pictures right here. I don't know the answer to your question because it's always been my experience that these things work. Now, the purpose for the capacitor is to kind of misalign the bands a little bit so that they actually line up. I mean, it is true that 7 megahertz is twice 3.5 megahertz, but twice 4 megahertz is 8 megahertz. Now, and 47 goes to 14, okay? But 7.3 goes to 14.6, which is way outside the band. You can see that the bands don't quite exactly add up, and that's what that little capacitor is in there for. On the My Antennas platforms, they've got a little coil 6 or 8 feet from the end, and I haven't been able to replicate that, but I'm going to do that in the antenna that I've got from the League right now, which is currently up in a whisper capacity. And doing fabulously, by the way. Seems like in 10 minutes I get 40, 50 reception reports. And if I try and put it on 24 hours, it kind of crashes the system. It doesn't want that many updates. What can you do? Well, one thing you can do is to take a look at the Arrl kit for a 40-meter end-fed half-wave that will cover 40, 20, 15, 10 very nicely. Has the capacitor. Works very well. I know. I've got it up right now. One thing to worry a little bit about is the box that it comes in. It comes in a plastic electrical box that I broke once when we had to take the antenna down. It came down too suddenly. It broke, and then it broke again after we fixed it. So now I've got the thing kind of turned all around. And but you can get this antenna for, with tax and shipping, about $100. And it's a very nice antenna. It might be worth it just to not have the issues you're having. I mean, you've got to put a monetary value on your stress and your time. And if you're working hours and hours and hours on a device, you've got to ask yourself, maybe it would be better if I tried a totally different approach. Now, I'm not saying not to persevere, but to tell you the truth, I can't tell from here what the difference is. I'd have to look at pictures and schematics and maybe make sure that one could be an auto transformer, the other could be a standard transformer. The League one is a standard transformer rather than an auto transformer, but the auto transformer works fine. So all different things you can take a look at. Ideally, these don't require tuning. I'm looking at these pictures and I'm thinking your transceiver ought to tune both of them, because they're not much more than 3-to-1. I'm a little bit perplexed by this question. My 64-to-1 balun will only work one band. You have to trim for it, whereas the 49-to-1 usually works on multiple bands. I found if I extend the Arrl one out to 80 meters, it'll work on 80, 40, 30, 20, 17, 15, 12, and 10 meters. Okay? Not real well on 30, but well enough that I'm using my little whisper transmitter to transmit on it right now. If you'd like to support this channel, join. Click the join there. The rates are really low. Plus, you get videos early, well before their release date. Until we next meet, 73.